Left with nothing else to do, I found myself drifting back to the foyer. A few visitors linger in the area, so I'm merely enjoying the afternoon sunlight streaming through the stained glass window. Others can be seen admiring priceless antiques and decorating the room. One group of elderlies, gathered some ways across from me, is occupied with with friendly banter about which one would cost more money to buy. A little argument here, an occasional laughter and teasing there. All to myself. Conversation reminds me of what I've been missing these past few months. Rose is probably right. I do need a break. Maybe this afternoon's hangout will help. Speaking of, I should call Ash. A few hours earlier, I've told him, but he did ask. Okay, let's try reading that sentence again. It's a few hours earlier from what I've told him, but he did ask me to call once I'm done. Besides, I don't have to ride back. He offered, so I might as well take it. I don't know, I kind of like the paintings in here. Although that stained glass looks a hell of a lot like the two people that I just was sold the house to. Or bribe him into giving me one. Not that he'll ever accept the latter. Personal convictions and all, after all. Honestly, if there's something I find admirable in him, is despite his tendency to annoy the hell out of me, is that, well, whatever way works. A free ride is still a free ride. And there's Rose's offer too, but despite what she says, I know she'll be busy for the rest of the afternoon, especially without me insisting. Bothering her for a favor as small as this is the last thing I want to do right now. A couple of more minutes and a few prayers, asking for a decent signal later. The call finally connects and...
Shit! Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty funny for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers, watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy.
Okay, no more.
Sup, I'm Ash
What?
from Deluxe
Shit, how
City.
loud is this thing
Baggers,
even?
watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble?
A sharp ringing
Better
fills
not
the inner
lie.
hall, disrupting
I'm a
the
cool
pleasant
dude,
quiet.
pretty fly for an
Shattered.
Asian guy.
Its head settled.
Sup, I'm
Soon
Ash
enough,
from
heads begin
Deluxe
turning
City.
to search for the
Baggers, watch
source,
out,
mine
can't
included.
beat me. Looking for trouble?
My eyes
Better
dart
not
around the
lie.
small crowd
I'm a
before
cool
zeroing
dude,
in on a lone
pretty fly
figure
for an
crouched
Asian
behind the
guy.
same group of old
Sup, I'm
checking out
Ash
the
from
chorus a
Deluxe
moment ago.
City. Baggers,
His
watch
face,
out, can't
he's
beat me.
facing away
Looking
from me,
for
fumbling
trouble?
with
Better
something in
not
his
lie.
hands.
I'm a cool dude.
I don't
pretty
need to see
fly
his
for an
face to know
Asian
whose back
guy.
it is.
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe
Oh, I'd
City.
recognize that dumb
Baggers,
Parker
watch out,
anywhere.
can't beat me.
Without
Looking
bothering
for
to end the
trouble?
call, I marched
Better
towards
not
him.
lie. I'm a cool dude.
After what
pretty
happened
fly
today,
for an
I'm
Asian
really
guy.
not in the mood to deal with
Sup,
this.
I'm Ash
Of all
from
the times
Deluxe
to-
City. Baggers, watch out.
Ashton Frey!
It's his fucking ringtone, that was the best. What happens next is something I surely regret later for not having recorded.
Ah!
He jumps and lets out an undignified yelp, followed by his phone slipping out of his and bouncing from one hand to the other in a poor attempt to catch it, before ultimately falling flat on the floor, sounding clack. I kind of feel sorry for the phone and the floor, but it's not every day you catch someone like Ash off guard and get that reaction. His damn stupid detective senses. I'll take every ounce of victory I can get, no matter how small. Ha! An awkward pause passes between us. A blink, a cough, makes a face, and then in a too quick motion, he ducks his abused gadget while a grin threatens to break out from my lips. He doesn't meet my eyes when he straightens, but a flush has crept under his cheeks and his face and cheeks. In another universe, where we haven't known each other for 5 years and suffering through his teasing isn't a day-to-day occurrence, chances are I'd find that adorable. Endearing, even. Unfortunately, this isn't that kind of world. The way things are, I am already content to see him out of his obnoxiously calm and collected disposition.
Hello to you too, scaredy cat. I could stand to be greeted like a normal person, you know.
What? And miss that look on your face? No way! Oh man, I should have taken a picture.
I am so honored you find this funny.
Excuse
Is that how you treat
me,
your guests?
princess.
I think I need to talk to your supervisor.
Talk to yourself. You aren't even a guest here. What are you doing here in the first place?
For a moment, he looks like a cat that swallowed a canary. Suddenly checking every nook and cranny of his phone for any damages or scratches. Seems to be more interesting activity than explaining himself.
Ash,
I could be looking to buy a house.
Yeah, no, you can't afford this place.
a mansion?
Yeah, why not? Did you see the view outside? It doesn't look haunted to me at all.
I see what.
Ashton, I am not in the mood. What are you doing here?
He chances a glimpse at some point behind me. Parlor? Curious, I follow his gaze, but before I can figure out what's caught his attention, he places a hand on my shoulder and turns me back to face him.
I just finished working on something, so I dropped by.
I still don't see how his work has anything to do with why he's here. At my confused look, he drops the hand resting on my arm while he touches something particularly hot. Casually rubs the back of his neck.
And I said I'll see if I can pick you up. Turns out I can. Free time and all. So here I am. Figured you'd still be busy, and so I roamed around for a while.
Oh, you should have mentioned that sooner. I was about to throw you out.
Throw me? Hey, I was given a pamphlet. I think that makes me a legitimate client.
Pamphlet make.
We have mandatory sign-in sheets for clients, Ash. I didn't see your name on it. And you can't just roam around because it says open house. Normal people actually follow an etiquette here.
Right, okay. I think I'll just go ahead and...
No, wait. I wasn't really going to throw you out. Rose said... Never mind. I was just about to leave anyway.
Wait, what? Now?
Something must have shown in my face because he pauses and gives me a long, hard stare. Sometimes I forget how easy reading people is for Ash, given how often he looks as if everything around him is a chore. I avoid his eyes, hoping he'll drop the subject and won't ask any more questions. Last thing I want is to tell him is what happened, especially the part about the letter. In fact, he's the last person on Earth I'll ever think about telling it to if I can help him. Sure, he's a dependable guy. God knows how many times he's helped me, even without me asking for it. Stuff like ghosts and the supernatural. Never believe in those, even if he hears it from a friend. Except maybe if it's Becca. On a good day, the most harmless thing he'll do is give you an explanation on why those things have no chance of ever being real. At worst, he's insufferable. He'll poke fun at you at every single chance he'll get. Ashhole. What did I ever do to him? He never does this to Becca or Zach. I can already imagine how things would go down the moment I spill a word of what I saw. Nope, over my dead body. Before it catches his attention, I shove the letter deep in my bag.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Let's just go.
Doesn't look like a nothing to me.
We still have Zach's movie tonight, remember?
It's still early. And didn't you say your shift will end around 5 or 6? What about... Hey, Isabella, wait up!
A rush of air greets me as soon as the main door opens. Not the usual autumn draft, but a still welcome change from the stifling atmosphere inside the mansion. Ash's footsteps are quick behind me. The soles of his shoes thumping hard as the polished concrete and the awkward cadence... words, God. The soles of his shoes thumping hard against the polished concrete in an awkward cadence as he rushes to catch up. He calls out once, twice. The mansion still looms in the background. Whispers calling me back, shadows beckoning. Fuck. I don't look back. We spend the ride back to Luxborn City in relative quiet manner, with only the radio's disjointed hum in the background to fill the silence. Occasionally, Ash will reach out and fiddle with it until the signal settles, or it's on as a respectable value. But otherwise, he doesn't say anything. Neither do I. However, if the furtive glances he's been sending my way are signs, I know that there are things he's been itching to ask since we left the mansion. I keep my eyes trained on the passing scenery outside, a small hope that my disinterest will dissuade him.
Here.
All of a sudden, he tosses me something from compartments. It hits me clearly in the chin before it makes before I can make a move to catch it. The small package makes a soft landing in my lap instead.
Sorry.
I glare at him. The glare I sent him wipes a smirk about to form cleanly off his face. Clears his throat, focusing his eyes on the road again. I swear he did that on purpose. Ignoring him, I flip the half-forgotten package on. My lap.
I won't say no to free food, but why are you giving away cereal bars?
I always have one on my person, and you look like you're about to pass out back there.
Yeah, you know, hitting your head will do that.
Have you eaten lunch yet?
What the heck was what, Rufus? I don't even get a chance to deny it because right on cue, my stomach rumbles loudly and empty. And an empty, gnawing feeling in my belly becomes noticeable. The surprise there, I did skip breakfast and lunch before I could catch Becca while she was still on break. I was hoping to get a small meal after. I guess with everything going on, I just forgot until Ash mentioned it. It's not like the hollow feeling's new to me, though. If anything, it's just one of those things I've gotten used to ignoring over the years growing up. Hey, thanks. I tear open the package and start nibbling on the edges of the bar. Apart from acknowledging nod, Ash doesn't say anything after the small exchange. For that, I'm thankful. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that ringtone either. That was kind of funny. After getting an earful from both Becca and Rose, it's nice to be able to just sit down with someone who's not going to nag at you.
How'd the open house go?
The usual. We got a bigger crowd than normal because of the property's fame, but really no different from the typical open house.
That's a goddamn lie.
On second thought, it actually looks like a fancy party more than an open house. I've never felt so underdressed in my life. Weren't you there?
I wasn't really listening.
I should have asked someone to kick you out.
No, you won't.
And what makes you so sure?
One, ever since you got assigned to this property, you've been freaking out about it. Rebecca's words, not mine. She's been complaining to me about how you talked your ears off, by the way. Two, despite your initial qualms about the place, you still took the job.
And she wished she hadn't done that now.
Which brings us to three. It's been months since you last settled a deal, and you're short on money right now since you're back to your instant noodle diet.
How do you even know about the last one?
Rebecca. Anyhow, you're hellbent on selling the mansion. Even if someone you know personally is in the tour group, you aren't going to just kick them out. Every single person who went on your open house is still a prospective client to you, even me.
No, she knows you're broke. He's not entirely wrong. Oh man, I walked right into that one, didn't I?
I hate you. I really hate you right now.
His answer is a small laugh, the kind that screams, I'm right, I told you so. I hate it when he does that.
I'll have you know that there's already someone who's extremely interested in this property. So even if you expressed any sort of interest in it, I don't think they'd be willing to let you have it. Too bad.
Provided I didn't botch it with the rights. Why of all times did I have to screw up like that in front of an important customer? Yes. I owe Rose a big apology. I hope she likes her.
You don't seem too happy about it.
I am happy. Doesn't this look like a happy face to you?
Really? And here I was thinking you found another one stuffed in the sofa.
Is that a thing? Like, is that a thing that happened to them? I need to know. Like, I need this game to explain to me if they found a body stuffed in a sofa. I need to know this. They can't just keep casually mentioning a body stuffed in a sofa and not expect me to want to know more. Okay, game? Okay?
Or is it the wardrobe this time?
Wait, what? He meant it as a joke, but how close to the truth, how close it is to the truth made my blood run cold and my own heartbeat heavy weight in my chest. All at once, glitter in my bag feels a whole lot heavier, burdening my own guilt and apprehension.
Yeah, well, things happened. Stuff the right couple might not be pleased about. No need to make a fuss about it. It's normal in the business.
You made them angry?
No, not exactly.
Not angry, just stuff happened.
Like?
How many bodies does this woman run across? Exactly. I need to know. Like, they mentioned it as a joke in the past, but apparently it happened. I need to know about the body and the sofa. I need to know these things. I need to know.
Things.
Did they do anything? Your clients, the Wrights, was it?
I can't answer that. At least not without revealing everything that took place in the attic.
You keep asking me about my work, yet you haven't said a single word about yours. That's not fair. Both you and Zach have literally disappeared off the face of the earth.
An over-exaggeration, but changing the subject to something else is still better than outright lying to him. Besides, it never works with him. I'm not sure if it's because I'm just bad at it or because he's really very good at his. He doesn't answer immediately, only momentarily shifts a glance over at me, returns it back to the road when he has to make a sharp turn. Outside, the sun is already settled. Blah blah words. Let me check this because I actually went. Okay, that actually went. I'm making good decisions, guys. I'm making good decisions. Outside, the sun has already started its descent, casting a vibrant orange glow on the tall buildings. Wonder how long before we reach the venue's Zach's film. Checking the street signs outside, it appears Ash is taking the longer route. Odd. Probably trying to avoid the rush hour traffic.
Didn't we just talk a week ago over chat?
That's different. Linking your awful memes in the group chat box every morning isn't exactly a conversation.
Excuse me, I don't hear you calling them awful while you're laughing at all of them.
Shut up! And you aren't answering my question.
That earns him a soft punch to the. I did laugh at them, but I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction of knowing that I find most of them funny. It'll only make his head bigger, stupid Ash.
All right. Lay off on the abuse. Remember that case I mentioned before? We've been trying to pin the bastard down, but it required more work than we anticipated. The guy's slippery like that. We got some good lead months ago.
No, actually, I should save. I just thought about it. I haven't saved. Save. There we go. Save. He recounts what he's been doing this time, and we haven't seen each other. His usual work, the occasional small investigation, and the big case he's been stuck working on. Stuff he couldn't mention brief time we had to catch up online. Although most of it are the trimmed down versions. Only things he can tell. He had always been careful about that. Even in the way he spends his answers to my questions. Just enough to satisfy my curiosity, but not enough to paint the whole picture. At one point, his voice takes a strained tone when he mentions something about the big case. But I don't dwell on it much. That's normal, right? I mean, who wouldn't be frustrated if you couldn't bring someone to justice because they kept slipping out of your finger? If I were in his shoes, I'd definitely lose my mind. His stories never cease to be entertaining, regardless. If things weren't the way they were back home, I would have considered taking the same job. Things weren't the way they were back home. Maybe I would have considered taking on the same job as him. Well, no, not really. I would never allow that. But the idea is still there. One with the countless others I've let go. Time passes quickly between us, and before I know it, I'm already at the movie house. A small crowd is already formed in front of the theater when we arrive. The Lift Fest, the short for Luxembourg's Independent Film and Theater Festival, attracts a bigger crowd annually. This year's no different. I've only been to a few indie film screenings with Zach, and I'm no expert on the matter. But I know that people hoping to break into the industry. Getting your film recognized by local events like this is already a big deal, especially for a newcomer like Zach. He hasn't even won an award, but just getting a confirmation letter that the festival committee wants to include his movie in this year's lineup already put a big grin on his face for weeks. Speaking of the guy, he's impossible to miss. At 6 feet, he appears to loom over most of the moviegoers with his large build and heavy voice. There's no surprise that when people give him a wide berth as they pass by. It's often easy to mistake him for someone intimidating at first glance. Oh, I didn't even read the movie title. Pocket Chibi? Yeah, that is totally terrifying title right there now. Point of no return. Is that a Batman movie? Batcat. Batcat? What is Batcat? I didn't even know these things. What is Batcat? I did, back when I didn't know any better. Ash did too, I heard. Once early in their friendship.
There's Zach.
Hey, you guys! Long time no see.
Zach's face lights up with a smile of his own. He moves towards us with careful steps, taking a significant effort to make himself smaller as to not bump in or accidentally hit anyone. Typical Zach. As he nears, Ash casually raises his hand in greeting and...
Sup, Z-Man, my main man. What's crack-a-lackin', my homie?
Could you not do that ever again? The awkwardness that descends within the immediate vicinity of our small group is palpable enough. Somewhere to our left, a girl giggles, and then only do I become aware my mouth is hanging open. I'm almost amazed at how Ash can say that out loud with this straight face. Almost. Considering his track record, I should be used to it now. Zach seems to be.
Yo, stop trying to act black, Ashton. And you're the only one who calls me Z-Man.
Because it's lame. Batcat has something to do with the body of the couch. I wouldn't doubt it, but I'd put that one more on Pocket Chibi myself. There's a fondness underneath his exasperated tone. If this were any other person, he'd likely be offended, but years of friendship and familiarity have made those words harmless to the other's ears, or at least enough for both to take it in stride.
It's been a while, Zach.
I hope you didn't get into trouble again.
Not much to get into trouble lately without you, I'm afraid. I'll let you know if something comes up, though.
Nah, I ended up with Chicken Down stuck on me last time I agreed. I'd really love at least this year to pass without some sort of accident happening again.
Hey, I take offense to that. It wasn't that bad.
You really have no idea.
They really did a good job on animating the mouths, and I am impressed. The breathing's really awkward because it's just like them going up and down, but yeah, I like this. And then Zach laughs.
Hey, I'm kidding. You know you can always count on me.
It's a story only the two of them are privy to. Every now and then, Ash will enlist Zach's help on something. Becca and I never really found out what the real deal was. The real deal is in those adventures, as Ash calls it, and both aren't willing to tell due to some unspoken agreement. She insisted if Ash is likely not something illegal or life-threatening. I tend to believe her on it. Sometimes. Ah well, boys will be boys, I guess. Gives Zach a small wave from behind Ash, and his attention eventually turns to
Bella! Huh? Rebecca's not with you. Is she still sick?
A bit. But she's up and went to work this morning. You know she doesn't listen to anyone that's not Ash.
Yes, she does.
Are you so offended by that?
No, she doesn't. You're literally the only person she'll listen to when she's feeling stubborn.
And it's true. They've known each other for far longer than any of us in the group. Childhood friends and all.
But don't worry, Zach. She's probably on her way here now. She promised she wouldn't miss your movie. Isabella! Oh, thank goodness!
That'd be her now, probably. You get the devil. Without warning, a hand grabs my shoulder and turns me around.
Becca, you're just in time.
I have to lean back a little with the way her face is almost invading my face. But she places her hand on either side of my head to keep me still. She stares at me intently, concerned, filling her eyes.
Becca, you're squishing my face. How are you? Are you all right? Why wouldn't I be? Rose called me earlier.
Damn you, Rose. Those 4 words tell me everything I need to know. Since I don't have my family living close by, and the only other relative I have that works here is on the far side of the country, I gave my company Becca's contact number in case of emergencies. I should have known Rose would call her. I pushed Becca's hands away from my face. Although she lets go, her eyes remain drawn together.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Beside me, Ash snickered. I bite back the urge to elbow him in place to try to avoid Becca's hand as she tries to reach out for the said area. I do my best to dodge her, and all at once moving to hide behind Zach. Sorry for using human shield, Zach.
Oh, it's nothing. I just slipped off a few steps on my way down. I blacked out for a few seconds and had a minor bump, but it's just that.
You blacked out? It's not something to brush off. Come on, at least let me check it.
It's extremely minor. You wouldn't even know it's there.
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Something crosses Becca's face, but it's gone before I can figure out what it is.
Oh, that's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Why you sounding like that?
See? I'm okay. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. And I don't want to miss Zach's film.
We can always watch it some other time. Sorry, Zachary.
No, it's good. But you guys should really keep it down. We're starting to attract some attention.
Give it to the brother to be conscious of that.
It's the premiere. The premiere's different. Right, Zach?
I shoot him a pleading look. Zach's a simple guy. He'll understand. Please understand.
Not really. But Rebecca has a point. In the end, I think it's your call.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
Please, Becca. I really don't want to miss it.
You're not missing it. We're just moving it on a different day so we can have a...
Look, you guys.
Ash's loud sigh unexpectedly cuts through the conversation. He's pinching the bridge of his nose as he speaks, something he usually does when he's getting impatient.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her. She's probably the one looking forward to it the most.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
I already know the answer before Becca voices it. But at last, she releases a deep sigh and nods, albeit of great reluctance. I immediately tackle her in a big
Thanks,
hug.
Becca.
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
Jealousy! There's jealousy brewing.
If you say so.
Okay, guys, showtime's close, so I think I'm gonna get us some snacks. My treat. And
That's
then
right.
let's head inside.
That's right. Food is the solution to everything.
Anyone here has a smaller bill?
What's the smaller
I
bit?
think I do. Hold on.
I pull myself off from Becca and get my wallet from my bag and...
What's this?
God damn it. Fucking letter. It's already in Ash's hands before I can react. Behind him, Becca and Zach both give the piece of paper an intrigued look.
No! Give it back!
It's just a paper.
I don't care! Give it!
Looks ancient, too. Why do you keep this around?
I try to reach for it, but he holds the paper way above his head. Never been particularly sensitive about my own height, but right now, I really wish I had the advantage over him. You know, you could just kick him in the balls. I'm just saying, this is a short girl. We have our tactics. Just saying, like, don't do that shit.
Don't open it!
Especially when we're annoyed.
What's the big deal? It's not like it's a love letter. I don't see any reason to... Hold on a second. This is, isn't it?
Even if it is, it's not for you.
Okay, now I'm curious.
Too fucking bad. You can't have it.
I'm telling you, it's nothing like that. It's.
Give it here. Rest of my words are lost when he unfolds the paper. Why everybody gotta be looking at shit that ain't theirs? I can't breathe. My heart feels like it's stuck in my throat, pounding, ready to burst out. I vaguely note how my own hands tremble at my sides. Clasping them together doesn't do any good. They're still shaking, but I hang on to them regardless. Awful sick weight that has taken the core of my stomach back, and open house has returned full. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? How do I fix this? Someone please. Today is turning out to be a horrible night.
Send this to 5 people or else. Well, that's interesting.
Guys, I think we should listen to Bella first.
You didn't fucking write it now.
Aren't you a few days early for Halloween?
Ash waves the paper in front of me, giving me a fleeting glimpse of its content. I do not need to see it. I want to see it. The letters, the words, every stroke of written in blood already embedded in my mind. Yeah, I should have just thrown it away when I had the chance. That way. That
It's
way.
not a prank.
Makes all of them stop. Even I'm surprised at how steady my voice is.
What did you say?
This isn't a prank! I saw something!
Hold on. Are we still talking about this paper? Or is it about the urban legend again?
Both. I know it sounds ridiculous.
You're saying this is a primitive version of a chain letter, and now that we've seen it, we're now cursed.
Yes? What's your
You've got to be kidding me.
See? This is why I didn't want to tell you guys.
Isabella, aren't you taking this a bit too far?
Aren't you just worried about her hitting her head?
It's not a joke. Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me.
Then I fell down the stairs and it stood over me.
If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have.
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up. There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real. What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Without another word, I snatched the letter out of Ash's hands and stuffed it back in my bag. More force than necessary. I'm tired. I got cursed, I saw a ghost and probably lost a cell, got kicked out of the open house I was supposed to be hosting. My own friends won't believe me, and all of them think I'm crazy. To top it all off, there's a dull ache in the back of my head, begging for a little attention. I can't afford to give it right now. Honestly, there's only so much a person can take within a single day, and I just want to go home, curl up in my bed, and never think about today. Where I could take another step away from the group.
Guys!
Zach rarely raises his voice when it comes to the point where he wants to drive home, and hearing him take on that tone completely throws me off. Even Ash and Becca. Whatever harsh words yet to come out of the argument immediately die on our tones.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together? We haven't seen each other for months. I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
He has a point. Ash, for all his attempts to look cool and distant, has also been looking forward to this. He even took the time to call this morning for a reminder. He never does that. Becca too. I'm pretty sure that's another reason why she got out of bed today. Bad words. Got out of bed today. Yet, despite Zach's attempt to lighten things up for Ash and Becca's reacquiescence. Acquiescent. God, I can't say that word. Fuck it. Gestures. This tightness in my chest remained. Should have kept it to myself, or at least went with the idea that it was a prank. If I did, things might not have turned out the way they had. No sour mood, no bad vibes. Careless, so careless. Maybe leaving is the better decision for all of us. Ooh, this is a tough decision. Guys, do I stay or go to the movie? I mean, do I stay for the movie or go home? That's the question. Choices. I know all the characters in this can die. Alright, so that's one for the movie. Drawley spoke first, so we're staying for the movie then. Yeah, Drawley's very insistent about the movie. Any other day, I'd excuse myself and go straight home. See who this affect. Oh good, it affected all of them positively. That's good. But this is something special as that. Something he's worked so hard to bring to life. I should know better. I might be having a bad day, but being with the few people I care about far outweighs the idea of spending the rest of the day throwing a tantrum alone in my room. And what if the thing in the attic followed me home? Yeah, that's a problem. That is a legit problem. I don't want to be left with my thoughts either. I can still see what happened even whenever I close my eyes. And maybe, if I stay, let our heads cool down before telling them what happened, they'll listen to me. There's nothing you can't solve with a calm head. Step at a time, Isabel. That's what Mama used to tell me. Besides, I don't have to hard to ditch Zach. The smile is back on my face when I look back at them.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Okay, so Jolly's reasoning for why he wanted me to go to the movie is that he wants to see what it's like when he doesn't skip out on social events. Yeah, I can feel you on that.
Alright,
I don't tend to skip out on social stuff though, but I don't often go to social.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
Bitch! This time, I really do send an elbow straight in his stomach. If it Ash, being vertical challenge has its perks too.
What was that for?
Asshole.
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one.
Oh, don't cry.
Stop it!
Okay, scaredy cat then.
You just gotta keep picking with a woman with a concussion.
That too. If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
He started it! Not another word. Becca goes inside. She doesn't even stop to wait for us when I call after her. She's totally jealous. Ash and I exchange looks at that. The same question likely swimming in our minds. Something happened at school after I left? She having a bad day too? I'll try asking her about it later, I guess.
So, you guys go catch up with her. I'll go get us the food I promised.
But you'll miss it.
He made it.
Didn't you say watching a movie without food ain't fun? And it ain't like I haven't seen it. I made it, remember? I'll be in there soon.
One friendly tap on my shoulder and then he's gone. A few moviegoers are still milling about, some still waiting in line for tickets, but otherwise, the crowd is already inside. There's nothing much for us to do here now. Not a word of protest comes from me when Ash gestures for the two of us to head inside.
And then?
Are you sure it wasn't one of the cleaning crews?
Absolutely sure.
You guys are talking during the movie? Somehow, halfway through the movie, the conversation steered towards what happened. To be fair, Zach is the one who brought it up again. In his own movie. Now the film's just serving as background noise while we speaking in hushed tones, careful not to disturb anyone inside the small. Well, except for Ash. I just hope we don't end up arguing about it again. We'll all get kicked out for sure. Although with how loud Ash's voice it was probably get thrown out way before any argument happened. Only Becca still remains engrossed in the movie, completely ignoring us. She's been quiet this whole evening, speaking only when referred to. If I didn't know any better, I think we did something. We did something that offended her. Oh yeah, you did. Did we?
And then I ran. You heard what happened after.
I still think it's something else.
It was standing right in front of me, Ash.
He's one of the smartest people I know, but geez, he should. Plus, didn't he say that he doesn't believe in these things? Why is he in this conversation again?
I heard what you said, but it's a small room. There are a lot of things someone else could have done there without your knowledge.
True, I guess.
If I could see it up close, maybe I can...
I am not going back there.
Ever.
Ain't that a problem if you're hosting an open house?
Rose does the first floor tour.
I ain't sure ghosts can be restricted to one room, Bella.
There are no ghosts, Zach. Stop putting useless ideas in her head.
Herman Love, thank you. I hope that I'm entertaining you. I'm rather partial to my voice too.
Yeah, but I was thinking, maybe all the house needs is a blessing. Wasn't it left uninhabited for years?
Oh, the house did change hands over the years, from one distant relative of the armored guards to another. None of them bothered to live in it though, and it remains that way up until its current owners decided to sell it. Why didn't I think of that?
I didn't peg you as the religious type, Zach.
Nothing like that, Ash. Who knows, though? It might bring something positive to the place.
That's not a bad idea. I just don't know where I could find someone.
You're not seriously considering his suggestion, are you?
Do you have a better idea?
I know where. I could contact him for you if you want.
You'd do that?
Or we can find you a psychologist instead.
I'd be a dick, Ash. There are very few times in my life that when I wish that my glowers could kill. This is one of those.
Ash, that is not a very appropriate thing to say right now.
No, wait, that's not what I meant. Ethnographer. I meant ethnographer. This guy's a psychologist too, of course, if you...
Ashton, if you don't stop...
Rebecca knows the guy I'm talking about too. She can vouch for him.
Becca tears her eyes away from the screen and mention of her name.
Huh? What? Oh, are you talking about Professor Andrew?
I'm shocked she hadn't told him to
He
shut
used to
up.
work with my parents at the university. And can you guys keep it down?
Hey, somebody finally did tell me. to shut up.
Sorry, the scaredy cat here mentioned curses. Not that I'm saying this is one, but talking to him is a better solution for me than getting a random priest to bless an old house. He'll even help you figure things out, teach you a couple things, and probably put your fears to rest since this looks to be bothering you a lot.
Enough that she hit her head falling down the stairs, yes. Ash might be right too. However, what Zach suggested is something I'm more familiar with. Granted, they don't believe me. They're only giving me the suggestions to put my mind at ease, but it's better than being ignored and laughed at. I can take comfort in knowing that they're willing to hear me out.
So, what do you think?
It's your call. We'll go with whatever you want.
I don't know.
The priest or the professor? Huh. They're giving me the tough choices now. Any money mo, baby. You know, we're gonna go with the priest. Oh, we gotta vote for the priest. I don't know though. The priest might piss off what's ever in the house. I think I'm gonna go with the professor. I'm actually sure on this one myself.
I'll think about it, but if ever, I'd like to give talking to Andrew a try. Is that okay? Won't he have other things to do?
He is a bit busy, but he'll make time for me. He's my go-to person when I'm stuck in something. He won't mind if I bring a friend with me this time.
If you're sure.
I guess that settles it then.
See how it affected my relationship. Oh, Becca's mad at me. Becca, what are you mad at me for?
Guys, I said keep it down. You keep insisting that we still watch it, yet you're not even paying attention yourselves.
It ain't a big deal, Rebecca. I'm the one who broached the subject in the first place.
It's still your film, Zachary. A good film, mind you. You worked hard on this.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but I think another part of it's jealousy.
The least we could do is watch it with you.
I mean, that was the plan. Y'all was the one all up in my ass about this
And
stuff.
that's what y'all doing. I really appreciate all of you making time for this.
Sorry, Becca. We'll stop now.
I throw her an apologetic look, even if Ash is the only one she should be reprimanding. But her attention's already back on the screen. She's ignoring us again. Becca's acting this way, there's a big chance something's nagging at her. We really need to talk. We all fall into comfortable silence after the kind you can only share with people you're close to eating. For the first time today, the letter lays forgotten in my bag. Only for a few hours. Night has fallen by the time we exit the movie house. Despite the late hour, the streets are still bustling and full of people. Those about to head home, those set to meet someone, even those simply wandering about. Walking in the sea of unfamiliar souls, it strikes me how easy it is for one to get lost in the city nondescript as Luxembourg. You know what's really hard about reading this stuff out? I'm a speed reader, and it's really hard for me to keep up with what I'm reading when I'm trying to read it out loud. I was afraid too at one point back then. I was new and just set foot in this place. Now, the familiar faces walking with me, it feels like home. Zach and Ash bid us goodbye shortly before Becca and I crossed to the other side of the street. The former claiming he's got a few freelance jobs to take care of before the day ends, and Ash, who knows, he never tells. Sometimes he just randomly appears at your doorstep looking for a place to crash. He does that to Zach a lot. Much more than Lattice frustration. But he's a busy guy too, in spite of the laid back air he gives off.
Thanks for today, everyone!
No problem, Zach. I'm sorry for what happened earlier.
The fuck?
Huh?
A sensation. Cold, sickening, drowning. My chest tightens, breathing becomes labored. I can taste blood in my mouth, the edges of vision blurs. In the distance, amid the countless nameless people going about their lives, a voice reaches out to me. Bleeding even as I clutch my eyes tight and clasp my hands over my ears. Whispering, and whispering, and whispering. Calling out.
No, not me.
Somebody.
Isabella? Earth to Isabella?
Having a bad day. Izzy's having a really bad day. At her voice, the whole world suddenly snaps back into place and the murmur is gone. When I open my eyes, Becca raises an eyebrow at me in question.
Weren't you listening? Are you coming with me?
Why are you so angry with me?
Oh, yeah. Just, okay. Sorry, I spaced out.
You always do that.
Damn, why are you so bitter at me? Follow her without complaint, but not before sneaking a glance at the far end of the street. Where the voice came from, and where another set of eyes might be staring at me. Nothing. There are only Zach and Ash watching us as we head back to Becca and where Becca parked her car. I'm expecting to see someone or something or someone there. I try not to let it show. I try not to think of the tiny pinpricks of fear crawling in the pit of my stomach.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah, see ya.
Another glance, and with a final wave, we go off in our own ways. I do not know what I saw. I do not know what I heard. God, I don't know what I heard. I don't want to know. If this is what would help, and if this is what would help me sleep tonight, what would give back the normalcy in my life, then so be it. Oh boy, I feel like this is a quick time event. Darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in, and without warning, I'm falling. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. God damn, she really did eat a whole lot of cup noodles. Both my back and shoulders ache after I've fallen asleep and hunched up the night before. Drenched in sweat, I nestle in the pillows I often keep around me. Feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window and allow my breath to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none that I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Not crazy vivid, but more pleasant kind the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock even when the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep. Towel? Where's my towel?
Admittedly, it's the weekend and an unspoken rule that entitles me to an extra hour of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure hell will now. And right after what happened, oh Lord, one box of donuts and a peace offering won't be enough for the second time around. I grab my towels. I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first. My mind conflicted on whether I should just ignore it or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Ah, jeez, and the end of the rational part of my brain went out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Just the sight of it is enough to put me in a foul mood. It takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noontime here, and I'm the one calling. Not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
We're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lilt to her voice as she speaks. Ever since, it's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there was something I could... But from miles away like this, at least I'm able to not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows that'll never happen. Odds are Kelia, Jordan, already out drinking right now. Again, I can't count on my older sister either. Knowing she has a family of her own and, well, 8's financial situation isn't exactly the greatest right now, having ran herself knee deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach. From the way Mama's voice itches, she doesn't want to bring it up either.
Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well.
That doesn't sound right.
The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life's gotten a lot tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with the sickness 5 years ago, he's been able to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills rests on my shoulder. Damn! Although Mama makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood is scarcely enough to cover the cost of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. Can't even expect help from our government because the health insurance barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. Start to think the call's going out until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know about that. I'm sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, yet look at what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
I am sorry if I'm butchering these words. When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to that question when you don't have a definite answer to it? 5 years later, I still can't give them a straight one. I smile although Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering and my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end and the sound of gates opening. A voice is child, EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, tapping his feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home. I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighbor's kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? Miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
I love you. Bye.
Such a dutiful child. It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, take a deep breath and shake away my thoughts beginning to swim inside my head. It's pointless to mull over things like the things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping?
No!
Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's a telltale din of several feet shuffling against wood flooring and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rhodes cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting. There's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone and finish showering in record time. I make it in our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat, if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor, common to the Brad Realty Corporation of Luxembourg office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustle, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice.
Right. My boss's words turn muffled as someone else closes the door to his office. Likely one of our HR managers. Throughout the past week, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees that have failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get hold of them with no avail. As a result, half their workload has been shifted over to available staff, so as to not lose clients. Not that I mind extra work. If anything, that means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of the branch closure circulating because of this, indeed, is a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of papers in my hands without explanation. Pages flutter away from the top of the pile, and I lean down to pick them up, my eyes scanning the top of the pages that strike me. A purchase and sale agreement. Rose simply gestures her thumb in the direction of a visitor's lounge when I tilt my head, question. There, seated on the sofa, looks completely out of place, and humbly dressed room is the same couple from the day before. The Wrights. Something bubbles in my throat. The presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats at my hand, tugging on her sleeve, although her eyes alight with something akin to joy. She wants the sale to happen as much as I do, and now that the fact's here, the deal needs to be closed yet. The documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there. Along with the foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house.
Yeah, they told me as such.
I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
Shit, y'all should ask for more.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
Rose nods.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
I am not going anywhere near that house.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
They don't have better things to do. Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd have haggled it down to the lowest price possible if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit. We're just their agents who are going to receive a hefty commission, that's all. Nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling that she's headed back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow her after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish the work that she's left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it put him in a better mood than the entire office would leave. Ma'am Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence in the lounge door. She welcomes me with a bright smile, her movements more open than what one would typically expect from passing agents
Oh,
to have.
Isabel! How are you feeling? You looked awfully dreadful yesterday. Isabella, I'm fine now, ma'am. I appreciate your concern.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand them a copy of the agreement.
Wonderful. Your team works unbelievably fast.
Ma'am Hannah skims through each of them with a scrutinizing eye, checking every page for any inconsistencies and errors. Despite an unassuming expression she gives off, she appears fully aware of what to look for in the process of context. She appears fully aware of what to look for in the process of contracts like these undergoes. It is surprising, to be quite honest. I haven't pegged her for someone who was well versed in these things, yet here she is. She shows some of it to her husband, and he responds with the same passive interest as if he's more than happy to leave everything to her. I can't tell if this is purely because he believes she's capable enough, or doesn't care what they're buying, or simply finds paperwork tedious. Probably both. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Ma'am Hannah claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I released the breath we've been holding. Both of us are more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then? Are you really sure about this property, ma'am?
Don't you dare go back on this!
We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings.
That is not how you sell anything!
Modern touch?
That is not how you sell things. Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, don't make a scene, we're almost there.
Of course, why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately.
Yeah, I mean, she pretty much said she was buying it on the spot.
Shame she didn't have it.
Well, I mean, you gotta know. I mean, what's the hurry?
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
Yeah, I have no idea.
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, wouldn't it be better if we handled it ourselves? A personal touch of sorts. It is our housewarming party and our new home.
No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us.
Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you.
What's a housewarming party? Things rich people do that we'll never do, Charlie.
Oh, and before we forget...
No, they don't do that. They do bring you gifts, though. He discreetly folds something into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips, demanding our silence.
I know both of you worked hard on getting us this
Holy
beautiful mansion.
shit!
Did I mention we reward our people generously?
I ain't saying nothing.
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept
Yes,
this.
you can.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us.
Charlie, if it makes you feel any better, I got stuff that I brought home from college years ago that I never unpacked.
Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
I did nothing. I literally did nothing. He smiles sweetly like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that, the transaction's over and done with. My mind is still reeling after they left. Our other agents would have killed half clients like them. Part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiation, no sudden changes of mind. Just talk, signatures, and a few handshakes and here and there, and we're done. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property to innocent clients. Sure, the commission's big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization with enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodles for a diet for a month, and I don't have to go back to the mansion as well. Once the deal's been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing that something's there, that we gave it to the good couple despite that. Oh, Isabella, the things you do to sell a house to get money. Papa won't be happy with that. At least I have good news to tell them next time I call home. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, there's something.
I don't feel like they're as innocent as you think they are, Isabella.
So how does it feel?
Look, the fact she can't say your name right is enough reason to sell her a haunted house, honestly. That's just my opinion.
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable? Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too, aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
Slings an arm over my shoulder and leans closer to my ear, as though she's about to share a big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food. Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Nah. I mean, you just... I'm pretty sure she just slipped you probably a solid $1,000. You're good.
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation.
In other
by the
words, she
way,
wants you to
in
feed
case
her.
you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
In other words, make sure you make up for me having to cover for you yesterday.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Not surprising there, she's one of BRC's top agents no matter how modest she appears. Saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. She's a little too honest for her own good. She is just a little too honest for her own good. Of course, I learned I learned eventually. I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what I could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, and brimming with yet to be fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed the matter further. But perhaps it is where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to the similar experiences in our lives. Our goals both let us pass by because of small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives. The goals we both let pass us by because of circumstances we were in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away.
This is weird. How many of those people that are missing have been in that mansion? That's the question.
I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a wave over her shoulder and rushes out of the office. Lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents heading out for a much-needed break. Yo, Speed, thank you for that raid, man. How you doing? How was the stream? Oh, dang it. I skipped the line. But whatever. But oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. One considers taking instant noodle cup from my pantry and packing their lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash too?